We continue our week-long look at business operations using AI and how those can influence and impact your compliance operations by looking at Shell. The compliance tip of the day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. And now I'd like to say a few words about the latest podcast on the Compliance Podcast Network, AI Today in 5 with 5. Thrilled to announce the inaugural episode of my latest podcast series, AI Today in 5. I wanted to do a short, curated set of stories and news stories about AI for the compliance professional and the greater business professional. You can check it out on Megaphone, the Compliance Podcast Network, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple, or wherever great podcasts are listened to. Check out AI Today in 5. Shell has a very impressive and innovative maintenance program for their international offshore rigs, which directly can give compliance professionals some great insights into how to use AI in a compliance program. Compliance professionals might wonder how predictive maintenance in oil rigs relates to regulatory compliance, as at first glance the two areas seem unrelated. However, upon deeper examination, compliance professionals have much to learn from Shell's approach to asset management. Both asset management and compliance rely on accurate risk prediction and timely interventions. Shell's strategy highlights the critical lessons from compliance functions can adopt, dramatically improving predictive risk management capabilities. So how can you do so? Number one, leverage data for proactive risk identification. Shell's success hinges upon effectively gathering and analyzing large volumes of data collected continuously from machinery. Predictive analytics enable compliance teams to recognize red flags that might otherwise go unnoticed. Patterns such as hotline reports from a particular region or unusual expense submissions could be clear indicators of potential compliance risks. 2, transitioning from reactive to preventive action. One of the most significant transformations Shell achieved in its rig maintenance program was shifting from reactive corrective maintenance to preventive interventions. Rather than waiting for mechanical background, Shell actively and proactively acted at the first sign of trouble identified by the analytics. Similarly, predictive analytics and compliance empowers compliance teams to move away from the historically reactive mode of responding after misconduct has occurred. By embracing preventative analytics, compliance professionals can significantly reduce the frequency and severity of compliance incidents. 3, maximizing resources and efficiency. Before predictive analytics, Shell's maintenance program relied heavily on calendar-based servicing, resulting in substantial resource allocation to tasks that were not sometimes necessary. Predictive maintenance dramatically improves resource utilization by directing attention specifically towards the assets that are required. This means rather than deploying broad-based training or audits equally across an organization, predictive analytics or predictive insights can help compliance professionals target high-risk areas and operational areas more precisely. 4, prioritizing transparency and trust in analytics. One of the key challenges Shell faced in adopting predictive analytics was ensuring the predictive models were trusted by operational teams. Clear communication and transparency were critical. Models had to be explainable. Operators needed to understand why equipment was being proactively serviced. Transparent predictive analytics reduces resistance from shareholders, stakeholders, and builds organizational buy-in and fosters an open compliance culture. And number 5, continual refinement and model evolution. This program by Shell was not static but dynamic. It evolved with the use of data, and predictive analytics requires regular assessment and fine-tuning. Compliance teams must regularly test and validate their models against real-world outcomes and use that information on a go-forward basis. So monitoring and then continuing improvement are critical for this program. I'm happy to do for you, the compliance profession, is if you have a question or a series of questions you would like some compliance tips on, I'm happy to take any requests that you might want, certainly anonymize them, and give you a quick tip, either one quick tip or maybe a week's worth of quick tips. So if you have any tips you want about your compliance program, you can shoot me an email at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. This podcast was created and produced